this, so I was just like, oh.
Hey YouTube, this is 13ULTRALORD79 here with a battle video against SuperDragonkin. Really great battle. I had fun in this one. Well, let's see what happens here. So he goes ahead and leads off with his Flareon, I believe, and I let off with a Wishmacott here. Just because I can get the Encore off and switch into somebody that I can set up or something, so I get a free turn or something. But he goes into his Flareon. I'm predicting to throw a fire move, and he switches out, predicting the switch, which I really don't switch out, and I stay in it, and I go for the sub. At this point, I'm just trying to scope out anything, but this first turn tells me that this Espeon has Magic Bounce, since Wishmacott has Prankster on it, which is his prediction at the moment, probably. And I get Lefty's Recover, like always, and I switch out Wishmacott this turn, since I don't want to get myself in any stupid, dumb status conditions. And I go into my switch now, which is my Ferrothorn, and I think he goes for the Psychic, I believe. Yeah, he goes for the Psychic. My switch now pretty much takes it like a beast that he is, with max special defense and HP. And at this point, he realizes that there's nothing he can do, so I switch out myself, actually. I think he sets up one of his screens, or... yeah, he sets up one of his screens, which is the Reflect. And at this point, I'm really like not doing shit, but this is a good call, prediction on his call, since he goes into his Flareon predicting the Flare Blitz, which pretty much tells me that this guy is not a noob and knows what he's doing. So I decided to kick it up a notch after this turn. So I switch out my Darmanitan, and I go straight into my Chandelure here to try to scope him in there so he can't escape, so I'm going to kill him. That's not the case at all, and he goes out into his Jolteon. And which is Gold Moon, and me forgetting that this thing can Shadow Ball, don't switch out, and I get hit with a Shadow Ball, which does heavy damage, but it doesn't get stab luckily, but it does get Life Orb in there. But my special defense falls, which I think is pretty pointless since he's already at low health. But I go for my Flamethrower, and it isn't enough to take this thing down, which pretty much surprised me. So it just barely hung on, so I switch out into my Ferrothorn here, just to make himself take out with a Life Orb recoil there, and he does what as I predicted, which is take himself out with the recoil damage there from Life Orb. And well, I get Lefty's Recover like always, and I think he goes back into his Neon Moon, which is his Espeon. No, he goes into his Lumen, which is Umbreon over here. Now these things are annoying, like really annoying. And he goes out into his Espeon, trying to like make me do some sort of like setup move, which is exactly what I do actually. And there we go. There's my confirmation for my Magic Bounce theory. But luckily I'm a Grass type myself, and I don't get leech seeded. And it's pretty much recover from lefties, you know. I switch out. No, he switches out. I think this will be a double switch. And he goes back down to Moon Ruby. And I go straight for my Jar Ball, just try to scope out here. See what he's up to. And that thing takes it pretty damn well. Considering my Ferrothorn doesn't really have high attack, and well, yeah. So he switches out Moon Ruby, again, putting some sort of status condition coming his way. And at this point, I pretty much like outsmarted him on that thing. So I switch out, I get a switch into my own. So this is pretty much a double switch. And I decided to trap him in there. So now my Chandelure can just sweep and get the kill, but Chandelure isn't the fastest thing in the world, and it's pretty much destroyed by a Shadow Ball right there. And I go out into my Darmanitan here. Now last time he predicted my Flare Blitz, which pretty much pissed me off. So I decided to go to my... Yeah, okay. And I taunt him, just predicting some sort of switch out of my own, actually, his own. And I taunt this Flareon, it's whatever. And I switch out since my Darmanitan is Scarfed. And I go into my Conqueror there. So it's pretty much, yeah, predicting a switch. But he goes for the Superpower, and my Conqueror takes it pretty well, as you can see. I took it like a boss right there. So I think he's fearing a Mach Punch since his defenses is dropped there basically. And he switches out into, I think, his Espeon. No, his purple one, which is his Vaporeon. And I pretty much, this is gonna happen. Get it back to it. And I think I thought he was gonna switch out to his Espeon, but he goes on to his Vaporeon. So I started for the payback, which did a decent amount of damage, but still, I got walled basically. And I pretty much get Lefty's recover again. And I switch back my Conqueror. I don't know, fearing a I don't know at this point. So I switch out into my Wish-Macot, pretty much, and he goes for the Toxic, but it missed, which is like good on my part, but I really didn't matter this turn. So I think he's gonna switch out into his Neon Moon, seeing the Wish-Macot out. That's what he does. And he goes on to his Moon Ruby actually, which is his Flareon. And I go for the Leech Seed and it missed. Oh, it didn't miss. That's my bad. So I get I pretty much go back to full health considering that Leech Seed and Lefties right there. Just wait for it to So I switch back my Wish-Macot, fearing a fire move, and I go on to Demand. I think this is a double switch here. Because he goes on to the Neon Moon, which is his Espeon. Or Purple Moon, I mean, his Vaporeon. I think he predicted my switch to my Dramatin, which is really good play on his part. So at this point, I'm just trying to evade this kid and trying to get a kill at the same time, but it doesn't seem to be really working. So I switch on to my Pair of Thorns here, knowing that this thing can't do anything to it. He goes for Toxic and doesn't affect it since Ferrothorn is a Steel type. He goes for the Wish. My thinking of this time was he's gonna switch out to someone with low health, but I actually land my Toxic, which really won't matter until the end of the game actually. But he gets, of course, damage from whatever that is. Poison, and he switches out like as I predicted into his Moon Ruby, which is Flareon there. And of course, his little wish comes true. And then this is a double switch. I predicted the switch myself, so I go back out to Dramatin. Now, here's where the game starts turning around here. Now, I didn't know what he was going to go out to. I was having, took me 3 minutes to make this play. But I pretty much, for some random reason, I chose Superpower. I didn't know why. The gods told me to choose Superpower. And he switched down into his Umbreon, and I'm just like, wow. Then again, I didn't want to go for the Flare Blitz because I didn't want to over-predict, so I just went for the Superpower, knowing I could just wreck anything on his team with that. And it was a great chunk of damage there, considering that Umbreon does have great defenses. So at this point, I'm not sure anymore, so I switch out my Dramatin, and I'm predicting the switch on myself actually. So I go on to my Ferrothorns here, just trying to wall anything, or just trying to watch things, and my suspicions do come true. He switches out into his Vaporeon there. And I think he's going to set up a Wish, or I think he's going to switch out. I don't remember. This match happened a while ago. So of course Poison starts eating it away. And he goes for the Wish, which pretty much indicated that he was going to switch out into his Umbreon there. So I go for the Dry Ball, trying to make as much damage as possible. Oh, it's a stall game. No, I think it's 18 minutes. And he goes on to his Umbreon. I predicted that pretty much, and I think I stay in and I go for the Leech Seed. And his wish comes true, which pretty much irritated me. I was pretty much pissed off at this point because all my hard work was just bullcrap at that moment. So we're here trying to figure out a way to infiltrate his team with a great super that I have. But I think around this point I pull out my Wish-Macot because I didn't really want to care. I wanted to start getting the speed going now since I do dislike this team already. And I go for the Toxic, and he goes for the Magic Bounce Espeon, which didn't really piss me off since I'm part Steel. And I switch on my Ferrothorn here, and I think I go back to Wishmarcot. And this is like my pawn piece now, as they call it. Just take one for the team. I just want to get rid of this thing so I can send out my superior and start leaf storming things. He still has, I think he still has all 6 of his guys, and well, I just want to get a sweep going with my superior there, and I'm just pretty much hoping he'll do anything. So I'm just clicking random moves, hoping he get a kill, and he gets close to it, but not quite. And he shoots out his Neon Moon, and that pretty much irritated me. I was very angry, very outraged, and I go for the Stun Spore actually, and missed. So then I see this thing out, and watching, I play Poke's video of the flame charging, you know, this thing flame charging. I'm just pretty much, I want to Stun Spore it, but then again, I think he's going to try to switch out on me, so I pretty much go for a Leech Seed. And that does not, luckily I'm a part type, I'm a part grass type, and I don't get seeded, but anyways, I evaded. So pretty much back to half health there, which pretty much irritates me, so I switch back out. So my plan is pretty much done for the moment. So I switch out to my Ferrothorn here. He goes for a Psychic, and it hits me hard. And of course, Ferrothorn having great defenses, takes it like a champ, and it flickers off, and I switch out my Ferrothorn. I think I go back out into my Dermant here. Now this is where I start getting optimistic, because he throws a Shadow Ball my way. I think he's predicting the switch, but he didn't know into what, so he went for the Shadow Ball just for the safe turn. And again, he didn't want to predict, but I go for the Flood Blitz all out here. And at the time, I didn't know this Espeon had a Sash on it, which pretty much irritated me when I found out. I get a crit, and then there goes the Sash. When I found out, I was pretty much pissed off. But I take heavy recoil damage, and at this point, I'm jumping for joy now. Because my Dermant's about to get killed here, and he did his part, which is take one for the team. So with him dead, I could get the safe search into Superior there. It's exactly what I do, actually. Except not Superior, and now I think I can start sweeping the team, like literally sweep. But he switches out into his Moon and Ruby, which is just Flareon, to try to take the Leaf Storm. And as you can see, that thing took it well. At this point, I was afraid of this Flareon. I'm be honest with you, I was afraid of it. Life Orb and +2 special attack didn't really mean anything to me, so I abort my mission as soon as I send it out. Which pretty much irritated me, because I didn't want to switch out, but I had to. And he goes for the Flame Charge. Now, this is where I love my Wishmarcot here, because this thing barely lives the Flame Charge. And now that I know he's probably not going to switch out, I'm going to go for my Stun Spore here. Like for the Stun Spore, this one lands, like unlike the other one. So he has paralysis on him now, which is really helpful later on in the game, as you guys will be able to tell later. He goes for another Flame Charge, and it pretty much... And Wishmarcot taking for the team. At this point, this guy's taking out half my team. It's looking good for him. And here's where things start turning around. I send out my Rambushin or Conquidor. I prefer Rambushin on this thing. And he gets to switch, and he switches out, which pretty much had me jumping for joy, because I actually went for the bulk up here. And I get my +1 and +1 defense and attack. And the +1 defense will come in handy later on. I mean, next turn actually, or the turn after. And I go for the Mach Punch. And it looks like it took it out, but it actually lived. And he went for the Blizzard. At this point, I thought my Conqueror was done for. I was like, I lost faith in him. Man, did I make a mistake. My Conqueror barely lives. He barely hangs on. So, and he takes... That's 49 damage. And I don't know what possessed me to use Drain Punch here, but the gods were telling me to use Drain Punch, so that's what I exactly did. And he lives with 30, which And I pretty much take 3 HP from this thing, not from this thing.